All right, I posted just a quick 1-minute video on how to prune a tomato plant. Now this is just for indeterminate. I'm not as experienced with the determinate plants. Indeterminate means a plant that will continue to grow, produce blossoms and produce fruit, provided it has the right conditions. An determinate tomato plant has a determined height, it has a determined amount of blossoms, and a determined amount of fruit that it will produce. So not as familiar with that. I typically grow indeterminate. Now I am going to trellis these. I am going to provide some support that I'm going to tie these up, and I'm going to do what's called single stem them, where I'm only going to keep the main stem. I've found that works better. The first year I started doing it, I was like, oh, I can't take that one off because there's blossoms on the Y. So I'd let it Y off, and I kept 2. Those plants had way less fruit and way smaller fruit than the ones that I just kept single stemmed. So right here I have our Brandywine tomato plant. Let me get this set. Now I want to eliminate branches that are in contact with the soil. Now I don't know if this is 100% correct, but what I tend to do when the plant's a little bit small is I'll just remove part of a branch and leave some here, because I want to leave these leaves because there's not a ton of plant yet. So I'm going to eliminate this one because it's in contact with the soil. You can see some damage there, and the same here. And then the next thing, and this is a lot of times what I'll be doing is I'm walking through the garden in the morning, drinking my cup of coffee. These are called sucker. So this is the main stem that I'm going to keep, and here are the branches. These are what I'm going to pop off. So I'm going to be doing this kind of consistently as I walk through the garden doing other things. I typically will do that. And then the top of the plant, you want to be careful. So if you're new to pruning tomatoes, I would not touch any of this up here until it's a little clear what's the top and what's a sucker. This part's the top because it's a little higher. This is a sucker, but I am actually going to just let this grow a little bit more before I do make that change. Now, if the suckers are a little bit bigger, like if they're about that long, you can put them in soil, in a pot, and just with some soil, and they will root. They will wilt down some, but they will start producing roots, and you'll get a new plant. Or you can put it in a jar of water, and you'll see roots come off, like I don't have anything to show you, those little hairs. It will produce a root. And then you can put that in either directly into the garden or into a pot. It's just a great way if you feel that somebody needs more tomato plants, or if you have a few more that you want. It's a great way just to get more tomato plants more quickly, because you don't have to wait for the seed to germinate and for it to grow. You'll start with a plant that's about that big. I've been doing this this will be the 3rd year, and I have had really good production and really good flavor on my tomatoes. So I probably will continue to do this for my indeterminate tomato plants. More to come later when I put the trellises in, which I'm not sure when will be. Time and weather permitting. Thanks for joining us.